Hi there, welcome to another video with Mr. Felix. Today I'm going to be showing you how to engrave a photo using Adobe Express. This is not the best app to use in order to create a photo engraving. The reason that we're using this right now is because we I assume when you're doing this assignment, it's close to the beginning of the marking period, beginning of the semester, and you still don't have access to Photoshop or Illustrator. Those are both programs that are much better at achieving what we are trying to achieve. However, in this moment, I want you to get the idea of how an engraved photo will look in order for you to be able to do it again in the future. And in order to do this, we need to know two things. The first thing is, what is a bitmap? A bitmap is basically a in 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 pixel graphics, a bitmap will be like a representation of white and black, right? I have some applications like the one right here, which is um, Dither Boy, um, that does bitmap for you automatically. Um, your Glowforge will take a PNG and bitmap it automatically if it has color. And what we are going to be working with is how to get our photo ready to be bitmapped, right? That is the most important thing, right? My Dither Boy didn't open up, so I can't even show you. I could show you on Photoshop. It's not that hard. Um, the second, but it's basically like an approximation of values with a random black and white thing. It usually looks something like this. Um, Not this isn't a good example. I can show you here though. And Glowforge will do this for you automatically, right? So if I open up a photo, I was gonna open up this photo of this dog. This is not my dog; it's my brother's dog, and he wanted a T-shirt of it. So I figured, okay, cool. Like, let me try to make a bitmap of of this dog, so that way I could do it. So to do that, this is what Glowforge is doing automatically. It's inverting, it's creating it in black and white, and then it's gonna put it into this thing called bitmap. It flatten layers, and I think it probably does a pattern dither on Glowforge. I usually use halftone screen, but to see what it looks like, it's usually this, and it looks good, right? Um, and then if I zoom in really, really close, you can actually see it is made up of just little dots. Uh, okay, what the heck happened? All right. I made it in like super good quality, but the Glowforge can't print in that quality. So when it does it, it will probably look something like uh, image mode bitmap. You don't have to worry about this. And instead of 72 inches per pixels, it might be seven or 300. It might be 72. And you can see the it still looks pretty good. It might even be even lower than that because when I've seen in the Glowforge, it's a really low resolution, maybe 20. Yeah, this is more like, oh, man, I suck at. Why is it? It's because I'm a clicking. I don't know how to pan. This pan? No, that's smudge. This pan. Okay, and it might look something like this. So in order for us to get the best result, we're gonna need to know the other thing. And the other thing is how to make this image ready for the dithering or the bit mapping process. We're not going to do that here though. We are going to go and jump into Adobe Express. So in Adobe Express, let's click a thing. Since we're going to be making an engraved photo on a piece of, I assume, acrylic or like wood, which is what the Glowforge has access to, we're going to have to choose custom size. Um, for this canvas, I'm going to say, let's do a 5 by 6 because you're going to see how long it takes when we send it to the Glowforge. And if we do 5 by 6, it won't take too long, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And here we have our white canvas. I can use that photo of his dog again. Download. Oh, it is not here. I know where it is, but it's gonna be hard to find it. So let's just go to my Google Drive. And last time I did this tutorial, I did it with a picture of Goku. So we'll use the same picture of Goku. I'll download it. You can obviously download a picture off the internet or send a photo of yourself to your Gmail or to your Google Drive by downloading Gmail or Google Drive on your phone and sending it. Um, that is another process I can teach you later. But now I have this Goku and I can put him in here. In order for us to get a really good result with this photo, we're going to need to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to need to do is change the effects, and we could change them to grayscale. The reason that we're changing them to grayscale is because when it bitmaps, it's already doing this. And if we put it in grayscale, we can already understand a little bit better how it's going to look. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to edit and we're going to adjust. And like I was saying, the second thing we're learning is contrast. Contrast is the difference between your darkest darks and your lightest lights. So the hair to this color is really good contrast. The more contrast you have, the better it's gonna look when it gets engraved. The less contrast you have, when it gets to just those pixels, it might blend all together and look like the same thing, right? So what I did right now to make them black and white is I went to effects. If this is the thing you see, you go to effects, you go to grayscale, and now he's in grayscale. The next thing we do is up the contrast. We do that by going to edits and to adjust. And in here, we can make his highlights a lot lighter and make his shadows a lot darker, right? You can also up the contrast. And this image will look better in the Glowforge. Trust me, when you send it to the Glowforge to print, it'll look better. If for some reason you still can't get a good thing, play around with this, sharpen the details, play around with it until you're happy with it, right? Like this, his kimono or his little gi suit, yeah, I think it's called gi, will be too dark. So I need it a little bit lighter. And you're only gonna learn what is gonna work in the Glowforge with trial and error. So we'll send this to Glowforge and be happy with it. But remember, before we send it to Glowforge, we have to change the background color to nothing, or else it's gonna be reading that background white as engrave. And then what we need to do is we need to put an element in the background of him, a shape, and that shape for me, I'm gonna do a rectangle of him and I'm gonna make it 5 by 6. So I'll make it all the way here, all the way down. And one of the things I've noticed recently is that when I set the border thickness on here to 1, it almost doesn't want to cut. It like cuts all the way, but it doesn't cut all the way through. So it's sometimes hard to take it out. So I'm actually going to recommend from now on that you do a 2 for the border thickness. And then if you're trying to change the guy on the bottom, remember layers are ordered. And the first thing we put down was Goku. So right now, the only thing I can interact with is this square. So you're going to want to move Goku above him, above the square. So that way it's on top of it and I can move it. And I can make it bigger. And I can even add text if I want to. Add text. And this could be Goku. I can do it sideways like 90 degrees and do something like this. I think that will look cool. And low key, I'm gonna just do it on the other side too, because why not? Goku, Goku. And something like this would be really good for a magnet, right? To make it a magnet, all we have to do is cut this guy out, send it to Glowforge. I'm gonna do them like that. Download as a PDF. Remember, when you're doing PDF, you want PDF standard, not PDF print. PDF, Glowforge. It's gathering data. I guess if you click off, it's not gonna do it. Save, send, create new design, upload a file. And all right. And now he's here, 5x7, and he looks pretty darn good, right? I think he looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to show you is a couple of pitfalls, things that you want to avoid or else it's not going to come out very well. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, let's say I have a picture and I want to remove the background. This looks cool. I assume that this would work. If I download this and send it as a PDF, however, you're going to see that there's an error that occurs with this one. And that error, don't ask me why it happens. You can use this to your advantage if you know how to use it, but what's going to end up happening here is actually um, it wants to engrave all of the image that was supposedly um, blank. So for some reason, it doesn't work. So let's say I had a photo, um, and I can delete that. I have the save file already. Cool. So it doesn't matter. Let's say I have a photo, and it's actually gonna be local disk C. Oh man, I forget where I put stuff. Um, no, not local disk C. Local disk D. Downloads, and in here I should have a photo of myself or something. Um, yeah, let's just use this one as an example. It's not the best example. It's just a photo of me. And I want this to be just a photo of me without all of the stuff in the background. What I'm gonna have to do for this is I'll leave the background white actually. I'll cancel that, remove the background, so it's just me. Put me down here, and then I'm gonna download this as a PNG. Um, if you have your background like this and it asks you to download it as a transparent PNG, don't do that. Uh, Make sure the background is white because when it bitmaps the image, it's gonna notice that this is darker and this is lighter. And for however it works with with the bitmapping, it's gonna leave that white and it's not gonna touch it. So PNG download, untitled, whatever. Cool. Now I can actually just mess with this, close that, go to my image under downloads, wrong downloads. I have multiple download folders. Throw this guy in. Throw this guy in. Cool. And now I can do the effects that I was talking about. Grayscale, edit, adjust, up the contrast, mess with the highlights, mess with the shadows. I'm going to up the brightness on this one because I think it needs it. And, you know, it takes a while for you to get the what you want. I think this looks cool. It's just, it honestly looks pretty sick, actually. I think it's cool. And like I kind of know what it's going to end up looking like. And let's say I don't want a rectangle. If I wanted it to be in a something else, gross. I can't find stars. Oh, stars. Cool. Let's say I want it in a star. Cool. Well, I can do that. Pretty easy. Change the border to. Remember, I want the border 2 right now because whatever is happening with this. Remember, I don't usually design in Adobe Express. I really don't. I usually design in other programs. I'm only using Adobe Express because we don't have um, Illustrator and Photoshop yet. So once we get to like give us a week for me to send all the emails to the district and get us the emails, then we'll be able to do what other stuff, and we'll have to learn a whole new program. But for now, we'll do this. This one's pretty cool. Says Felix. I love myself. You know that. If you know me, you know that at least. And I like this one. PDF download. And this I can make into a magnet by sticking a magnet on the back. I could also make it a keychain if I really, really like it. I just put a circle on it, make it a keychain. I'm gonna, I guess I'll just add it to this one because I'm not gonna print this anyway. Slope back. All right, I'm gonna delete this one, delete that one. Goku still came out cool. I'll delete it too though. I don't really care about it. And just so you can see how it's gonna come out, hopefully comes out. Design is being uploaded. Your design is being prepared, arranged, blah blah blah. Design contains clip path has been changed. We can't use mask yet. Yes, there is. This is not the best way to do this, but you can already see here a little bit of how it might look. The my face or my image will be engraved a little bit. This will be engraved, and this will be cut out. I think it looks cool. If anything, the only thing that annoys me is this little bottom part. So cool. This is how you engrave a photo. Hopefully, this tutorial wasn't too hard. Don't choose like the craziest photo in the world. Choose a photo that has good contrast. Um, Choose a photo that has really light lights and really dark darks. If not, this assignment might be a little harder for you, and you might get frustrated with it. Um, yeah, if you have any questions, please ask your neighbor. If you need the password for the the Glowforge, please look at the previous video or look at the around the classroom. It's probably written down somewhere. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please ask your neighbor, ask the people around you. They're your first line of people who are also trying to figure out this really hard new thing alongside you. All right, then. Thank you. Have a good day.